Welcome, everybody, to the American Space Museum. I'm Marquette, and I'm dressed up because you're all curious, want to stay curious. And today is Halloween, October 31st, 2023. We've got a celestial sight here that might look kind of familiar to you Harry Potter fans out there. Let's see what amateur astronomers call this feature as I get things organized here a little bit to say hi to Marty Winkle, my co-producer. We've done over 920 episodes of Stay Curious together. That includes about 3 Halloweens, Marty. And how do I look?
Mark, do you really want me to answer?
Well, okay. You can keep it to yourself, Marty, but we'll have the people judge out there if I look cosmic enough for them out here with my little alien necklace and so forth. So dressing the part today is here at the American Space Museum. A few people come in dressed up, and I was out at Kennedy Space Center today, and everybody around, for us adults, it's all about the kids. Adults just kind of get silly with stuff. So I'm silly wearing this spacey sports jacket here, and got a great program together for you today about the astronomical significance of Halloween. It's an astronomy holiday, folks. There's no doubt about it. And you go, Mark, how could this dressing up as skeletons and goblins and whatever you want to be as a sort of masquerade event, how could that have anything to do with astronomy? Well, of course, you're going to stay tuned to find out. Some of this program I've done for decades, literally talking to astronomy groups, the public at different parks and so forth. Chattanooga Astronomy Club paid me to go up there and do 3 nights of a Starry Night live program about Halloween. So it's a fun thing to talk about, but we're not going to spend much more than a half hour on it today talking about some of the fun and things in the sky that make you go bump in the night. And we amateur astronomers love the night sky. I am definitely a night person as opposed to a day person. So we're going to see some of the things that you can see, particularly one star that is a star that ancient stargazers may have feared because it seemed to be winking at them. So we'll figure out what that star is here. Hey, did you ever, you baby boomers out there, ever at the last minute need a costume and you go just foraging around the house, and yep, you found these spaghetti colanders will do, Mom, and Dad's welder's glasses and whatever you could find in there, and go out as aliens. The good old days out there. Now it is I don't know, huge industry, costumes for Halloween. How about our astronauts on the space station? You bet. We've got 13 humans orbiting the Earth as we speak, and Halloween 2023. 6 of them are Chinese, so I don't think they're decked out as Star Wars creatures or Elvis or a mad scientist like this expedition crew. Or how about this lovely lady, Nicole Stott, our good friend here at the American Space Museum, in a classic photo you see a lot of. She used this she said it was thermal blankets they had on board, and fashioned a quick pumpkin skirt out of it there for Nicole Stott. Well, how does this all come about? All right, what's all this about, this celebration? Well, Halloween is short for All Hallows Eve, and it's an astronomical holiday. It also has a lot of religious connotations, particularly in the Anglican Church of Episcopalians and Catholics in Europe. And it's a modern day descendant of an ancient Celtic and Druid celebration in the British Isles called Samhain, Samhain, Samhain. But more importantly, Halloween is a cross-quarter day, which is probably why it occurred, was a reason to celebrate not just the winter solstice and then the spring equinox, but between that is something that we all know we celebrate, and that's a cross-quarter day, and that is Groundhog's Day. So Groundhogs is a cross-quarter day. Let's look at the chart here to get you a little science so that Stargazer Mark here can reinforce that yes, sir, it is a cross-quarter day is a holiday. Cross-quarter day is more or less midway between an equinox and a solstice, all right? Now, Halloween, October 31st, is approximately midway between the autumn equinox that occurs around September 22nd and the winter solstice that's around December 22nd. For us here in the Northern Hemisphere, all right? Now, my Australian buddy Cliff Watson, it's just the opposite. They're looking at their autumnal equinox is actually their spring equinox down there, their vernal equinox in the southern hemisphere of our beautiful Earth. So you got your cross-quarter days there marked by X's on this chart. So in other words, there in traditional astronomy, there are 8 major seasonal subdivisions every year. All right, that include of course, you got the March vernal equinox for first day of spring, and the September equinox for fall, and then the June and December solstices for the first day of summer and first day of winter. Well, in modern times, you have 4 cross-quarter days, and we will outline them for you appropriately here with our appropriate mascots. There's Mintaka, the groundhog astronaut from Puxatawny, Pennsylvania, of course. Just his NASA photo there. Groundhog Day on February 2nd is between, of course, the first day of spring and the first day of winter. And so we all celebrate that. Though the groundhog can see his shadow or not, there's always going to be about 6 more weeks until you reach the March solstice, our March equinox, the vernal of spring. Now, one of the cross-quarter days that Marty, you probably remember celebrating this in school, is May Day. May Day was Ring Around the Maypole, where, as you see here, and this was a beautiful day to celebrate getting outside. I remember in the 1960s in school, May Day was a complete day to do be outside, play kickball. I think I was in on a maypole or 2 around there. Different societies over different eras of time, particularly in the 20s and 30s. This was a big deal to have May Day to celebrate the coming of the summer days as the spring was well into flush, everything was green, and we're going to celebrate May Day on May 1st. Then between the first day of summer in June and the first day of autumn, of course, in September, about in the middle there is August 1st, and that is what has become Lammas or Loaf Mass Day. Now, this is more of a celebration of the Anglican Church, but it also celebrates the beginning of the harvest season in August, when things are coming to fruition, particularly your fruits and other things are coming ripe. And wheat could be early wheat and make bread out of it, the essentials for life. The owl was a fixture with the salt salt eyes is a traditional good luck charm for good health and good knowledge in the coming autumn season that was approaching, as this is between around August 1st. Loaf Mass Day, or Lammas, Lammas, is a cross-quarter day celebrated by the Celts and the Druids in Europe hundreds of years ago. And then, of course, we have Halloween as being the next cross-quarter day. All Saints Day, November 1st, as we feature Halloween. All Saints Day is a tradition in many Anglican churches where on November 1st, or the closest Sunday around there, you enter the church and you put the name of people who died that you want to remember in a book or on a sheet of paper, and then the priest or religious person of that ceremony then usually burns that book or those papers that your loved ones or people you want to remember who passed away that year, or like I said, loved ones that have passed away, in a ceremony of returning them to ashes again from which we came. So quite a religious type of connotation to Halloween, also celebrating the dead, the Day of the Dead. And I don't mean zombie style. Okay. So that is where October 31st date for Halloween became. The true cross quarter day falls on November 7th. A discrepancy of about a week that you see that in a lot of celebrations and calendars. So on there. So, well, you look up in the sky tonight. The moon is going to be rising about 10 o'clock. But hopefully you'll have a nice weather to do some trick or treating with your family, your kids, your grandkids, or maybe you're just at home and enjoy seeing all the costumes that come to your door. We'll enjoy that. But outside is a star that is literally winking at everybody. This is a star that's been known for a long, long time in the constellation Perseus, the Greek mythological hero of many of the tales of Greek mythology, Perseus. Well, let's see where Perseus is in the sky. Perseus, as you look north and a little bit to the right, or to the east, you're going to see Cassiopeia, the queen, as I show you here. Cassiopeia is a W or M on its side, as you see in the upper left. Below it is a sprawling group of stars that roughly look like a upside down Y, as you can see that, called Perseus. Now, Algol is the star I want you to look at. Algol changes its brightness every 3 days. In fact, it changes it so noticeably that it is almost 3 times as bright tonight as it will be 3 days from now on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night. All right. In fact, you'll be able to see it Friday night. But tonight is shining very bright, and this is a variable star that changes its brightness. Now, of all the steady stars in the sky twinkling at night in the ancient times, they would know when a star appeared to be second magnitude, which is pretty bright. All the stars of the Big Dipper, the stars of Cassiopeia are second magnitude. And then it drops to 3.5 magnitude. Now, in this business of star magnitudes, the difference between the second magnitude and third magnitude is a logarithmic scale of 2.5 times. So, third magnitude is 2.5 times fainter than second magnitude. And second magnitude is 2.5 times fainter than first magnitude. And there's only about 20 first magnitude stars out there. Those are the brightest stars in the sky, except for a few that go to 0 and negative magnitudes. Well, this could be interpreted, Algol, as changing its brightness, and it's slightly red. Some of the ancient stargazers thought it was associated in sky lore with the mythical, scary monster, the Gorgon Medusa, who had snakes on her head instead of hair. And it said she was so horrifying in appearance that the sight of her would turn an onlooker to stone. That's the Gorgon Medusa. Well, that is who, in the mythology, is depicted as Perseus slaying Medusa by cutting her head off. He had to use his shield to blind that he couldn't see her, and then he's holding her head where the star Algol is. So this quickly became known as the demon's head or demon star, said to depict the terrifying snaky head of the Medusa monster. So Perseus, we'll talk about it on other Stay Star Curious programs, because he's involved with the mythology of saving Cassiopeia, the queen's daughter, Andromeda. And she was chained to a rock, and the Pegasus, the flying horse, is involved, and Cetus, the sea monster, is there. All these characters of mythology are in the starry sky right now. But we're concerned about the demon star winking at you, a variable star which waxes and wanes. And but this one is such a precise time of 2 days and 20 hours that you can see this with your eye alone. So go out there and check out the demon star and see Medusa and her snaky head up there in a classical mythological demon artwork there. Well, let's see here. We want to talk about now, just as we've established that, yes, Halloween is an astronomical holiday. Let's look at some of the scary sights in the sky up there and see if you get scared or not. Uh, I like darkness. I like Halloween because it feels right to me. Early sunsets and a swift end to twilight bring the night out in a hurry. And we're going to change to going off the daylight savings time to Eastern Standard Time Sunday morning. So don't forget to uh, fall backwards. We're going to have uh, a 23-hour day on the fall. Okay, so I don't like that, but so you lose an hour in our 24-hour day on Sunday. But it gets dark earlier, and stargazers like that. It gets a little ridiculous where darkness can be as early as 4:30 in December for some of us. But add a pinch of foreboding and a dash of fright, and the night alone, and a night of stargazing alone at that telescope may send shivers up your spine. Or was that just the falling temperature? Well, to help you attain a state of delighted delirium from starry things in the sky this Halloween, I offer several scary nebula for your viewing pleasure. And certainly have one here behind me that can scare the daylights out of you. Well, let's look at a few of my top 10 choices as we look at the starry nights of Halloween. Let me put that up there in full gain there. Many of these have ghoulish names that astronomers give them because they look like objects that they're seeing. You have things like the Horsehead Nebula. That's not that scary, but that's what that object looks like, a horse's head. You've got the Crab Nebula because it's got a crabby-like leg feature to it, like tendrils. Yep, you've got the Spider Galaxy. We've got the Great Nebula of Orion is just the Great Nebula because we can see that with our naked eye. But some of the ghoulish names out there, like this object behind the pumpkin that was seen by the Hubble telescope and was given a name as the Phantom Streak up there. Let's look at a couple others up there for you. There is this ghoulish Phantom Streak, part of a Hubble telescope series of photographs that were taken. A birthplace of stars that looks like ghosts just flying through the cosmos. And this is one of my favorites that Marty chose as our background today. This is the Death Eater Nebula. Okay, I am taking some liberties here, but it does really remind me of those flying Death Eaters in the Harry Potter films. You can even see the two stellar beady eyes there. And now this was taken with a backyard telescope, and astronomers can use special filters to bring out special colors and details. And of course, they can Photoshop the heck out of it too. Well, another object that is called the Coffin Nebula. This is a Hubble telescope image of an extraordinary planetary nebula that doesn't look like a planet. In fact, you can see a very bright star right in the middle, and that is a star that blew up its outer layers. Why it is in the shape of a rectangle, like a coffin or a lozenge, if you will. That's why we study astrophysics, to know what outside forces are allowing this to not take a shape of a sphere that it should as it exports out away from the star that belched these gases. Well, another cosmic freak out through a telescope can be the Skull Nebula. You see that there? This is a fancy photo that has been taken to enhance the dark lanes and so forth. You see these bright stars that have the X's on them. That is an artifact of the telescope, and those stars are between us and the object that is thousands of light years from Earth. And how about this, the out-of-body nebula? It kind of seems like somebody's out of body there, but it also seems like the space shuttle is about to land on me, Marty, with the you're looking at the bottom of the shuttle there with its wings and front there, but that's the out-of-body nebula, kind of a trippy looking sight that you see through the telescope. Now, you don't see the colors, but you can see the dark patterns and so forth within there. And then we have many things that look go bump in the night that can give on ethereal or cosmic ghostly images, like this Hubble heritage image there. That's pretty cool because you got a bright star above it, seems to be shining down on this gaseous cloud of ghosts that are leaving a crypt, perhaps. One of my very favorites of all, don't be too scared here out there, Doug Forrest, okay? I'm about to show you the Death Eater Nebula. Now, if that doesn't look like something crazy out of a science fiction movie, and there was one that these motorcycle guys had these flaming skull heads, all right? But that's the Death Eater Nebula, and that certainly looks like it is, but probably the best of all, yep, the Witch Head Nebula. Of course, nebula being a gaseous cloud, this Witch Head Nebula is in our Milky Way, and just the tip of the nose of the witch there is the size of 10 of our own solar systems, okay? This cloud goes about somewhere between 5 and 10 light years across, and the closest star system to our star is 4 light years away. So this is a big, massive cosmic cloud that looks like a witch in the profile, of course. I'm sure you all see that. So hope you've enjoyed this cosmic look at Halloween, an astronomical holiday. And Marty's going to give me a list of some of the ghouls who are watching this today. There we go. And we got Doug Forrest watching, and Dave Stange's up there back in Michigan from Germany. Tommy Usiak, and Marina is in the Ukraine. Thank you, Marina. And Steve J. from the Lake County Spaceport. And I got a special note from you, Steve, and I'll announce that as we kick off our Constellations of Giving. We're going to do that November 7th. But Steve J., I will be mentioning your generous donation to our American Space Museum as we kick off our Galaxy of Giving. Officially on November 7th. We'll be talking about it on the days leading up to that, of course. So hope everybody's enjoyed a little bit of Halloween in the sky. Yes, it is an astronomical holiday, and we hope that everybody has a safe holiday time out there with candy for the kids. Watch out, all the kids out on the roads today, and the adults late in the evening, of course, maybe celebrating too much. And watch out for the Gorgon out there. She could be out there ready to look at you. Oh, well, Perseus killed her, but I think her older sister or younger sister is still running around out there somewhere. And as you're enjoying your Halloween out there, like we said, be safe, be mindful of the kids, have some fun, all right? Because, and don't worry, the zombie eye will be keeping a watch on everybody out there tonight. So have a safe time out there. Hope everyone has enjoyed staying curious on this Halloween 2023. Until tomorrow, when Marty Winkle is going to do a special program on the foils, the metal parts of the lunar module, something that he worked on intimately over 50 years ago. We're going to have Marty look at the LM number 9 out at Kennedy Space Center Visitors Complex at the Saturn V Center. And Marty's going to educate you to whether that material is Inconel, whether it is Kapton foil, or whether it is Mylar. So thank you, Marty, for wanting to do that. You're going to learn a lot tomorrow. So stay curious tomorrow with Marty Winkle talking about the metals on the Apollo. Marty, chime in on the UCAC family microphone.
Yeah, I didn't say it was something I wanted to do. You convinced me to do it.
And I am surprised at that, okay, for darn sure. So, Marty, thank you for all you do behind the scenes. There's never been a greater volunteer at this museum And I guarantee you that Marty Winkle does a lot of things behind the scene. He worked on the lunar modules in his youth, and he's going to tell us some intimate details as we look at one real artifact that's out there at Kennedy Space Center. So until tomorrow, we hope that you have a wonderful Halloween. I'm Marquette saying I can't wait to see you again to bridge the space between us.